That's right. That's right. It's coming up. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John,
This is Qiana.
and this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See
And
that?
we would like to thank y'all for tuning in to help us to redefine what's cool,
Yes.
what's good.
First is Wednesday, right?
Yep.
So it's what's on your mind
That's
Wednesday,
right. That's right.
right? Everybody knows it's still Libra season,
Okay.
right?
Do we have a sound effect for that
We we said
one?
Gucci Gucci Prada Prada. Then we did something else.
We did do something else. Let me see. What can we do? Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that.
I don't know either, but it don't matter. Shh. So
Yeah.
thanks for all the birthday love, right?
Yeah, a lot of birthday love.
A lot of birthday love, overwhelming in a great way.
Okay, what'd you do? What'd you end up
Okay,
doing?
so I end up Thursday. I got surprised with cake
Okay.
because y'all know that was like the ending of the storm.
Yeah,
So you know
the day
when,
after. That's
yeah,
right,
the
that's
day
right.
after the storm, we
That's
had
right.
no electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to my aunt's house.
Okay.
My family was there. We sung happy birthday with cake. Then I went down to downtown St. Pete.
Okay.
I just walked around like bar hopped.
That was that Thursday or Friday?
That was Thursday night.
Okay, what was that like?
Oh, it was really nice. Like it wasn't a lot of people there,
That's what
but
I'm
people
thinking,
were
yeah.
out. But people were out.
Okay.
I rode the bull on First Avenue, right? Which was so much fun, right?
You gotta ride the bull.
Rode the bull. And then on Friday, my brother Emil took me out. We kind of did like a pampering day.
Okay.
And then Saturday I went to Hollow Scream.
Okay. Wow.
Right. Now let me tell you.
Hollow Scream is Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens.
Okay.
So listen, so I'm a rider.
Okay.
Right. So
yeah, you
so
ride.
I like to
ride
ride.
them all.
Ride them all.
Yeah.
So I get on Shikra.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Busch Gardens, I gotta say this, but I had amazing time, right?
Okay.
That's not the part I'm apologizing.
Okay, I was about to say that didn't sound like
we
an apology,
get
right?
on Shikra and we're like pumped up and we was like, we gotta do it again. Let's go. But then we go to one of the haunted houses.
Okay.
When we walk back, Shikra is stuck.
Oh, wait. Wait. So after the haunted house, you ready to do Shikra one more time?
No, we're just walking by Shikra. Cause we already
So you already did Shikra.
We did Shikra. We wanted to while we was there. Like it was so much fun. Yeah. We should do it again. But we got other people who's not riders. So we decided not to go.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But on our way passing it by,
yeah,
people are stuck on Shikra.
Oh my God.
Right, so you know what? Me and Shikra had a great relationship. It's over with.
You just gotta let Shikra. Yeah, it's enough.
You know, Shikra, we had good times throughout all these years.
Don't tell me that, because I'm a rider too.
But so stay off of Shikra.
Because I'll tell you, and it is not funny, but after the Orlando incident with the brother that died on the ride, like the riders in my family was like, we done. They was like done. Understandably so. And I was like, I'm still a rider, but now
I'm still a rider. No. But Shikra, me and Shikra have broken up.
Okay, they got a new one too, right? Was it the
Iron so I did get not on that day. Okay, I didn't get on that, but I did get on it like when it first opened. I got like one of the buttons say like one of the first riders.
Okay, yeah. So you ride. You got buttons and all. So you ride.
Right. So it was so me and Shikra, we have officially broken up.
Oh man.
And once you throw something in the trash, you don't go back and look for it. So
unless it's your keys.
Yeah, but so I'm not going back to look for it. I'm not trying to
keys.
Yeah, I'm not trying to repair that relationship.
Okay.
After I saw them people
just
stuck.
Moving on.
But they did get them down. So
Okay.
I mean, so that's a good thing. Things happen, but I don't want to be stuck.
Yeah.
And luckily nobody was like upside down going down
stuck with the blood going to your head and all
none
of
that. So I mean they were safely stuck.
No, okay. Wow. Well, sounds like you had a great weekend.
I did, and then Sunday we ended it with the brunch.
Okay.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Everybody came out for the
Breakfast Club. I see it. I see it.
Right. Because you know what? I had a whole birthday weekend planned, like the Bellas and Fellas.
Right.
Right. And anybody who know me, I'm a huge birthday person.
Right.
And so I canceled it, and then I threw back out text messages at the last minute, and there were at least 40 to 50 people that showed up for brunch.
Wow, nice.
You know, and I always say that for me, not for everybody else, this is how I measure every year how I'm doing.
Okay.
As far as life, right. and the people that I love and the people that I touch, when they show up for you to celebrate your life, you know that you have made some kind of imprint to them that they want to celebrate with you. Right. And so that's it. That's when I start to reflect and regroup and realize I'm on the right path, or do I need to change some things?
And that's what birthday should be, right?
You know,
it should be those reflective moments. So definitely happy birthday, happy.
Yes. Happy, and I'm still accepting gifts. Listen, I'm still accepting gifts. You don't have to stop. Huh? Yes, it is.
And if you want to send a gift right away, you can actually do it by sending some stars.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. Like Miss Teresa.
Like Miss Teresa did. Good morning, Miss Teresa.
So if you don't know about the stars,
appreciate it. Yep.
Right? You can donate stars. We appreciate the stars. Yes. We feed the person on Sundays, whoever send the most stars. Yep. Right now, Miss Teresa is the person that we are supposed to be feeding.
Yeah.
Right? Because she send the most stars every week.
But that's all right. It don't matter whether she sent a star or no stars. Miss Teresa, we got you. Yeah. You ain't even got to worry about it. We got you.
Shayna was in the building.
Okay, nice.
Right?
Nice,
she came in.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So yes, the stars we appreciate the stars. Show us that you love us, and then we love back on y'all. If you don't know how that works, look at the bottom. We're going to give you some simple instructions. You're going to see the share button.
Okay.
I want you to share the page.
Do that first.
Yeah. Then right after that, it says comment. If you know some people that you know that need to be listening to us, tag them.
Yes.
After you tag them,
okay,
go to the stars.
Yeah.
If you've never sent stars before, sometimes Facebook give you your first 200 stars free.
They'll
gift you with stars. Stars are a cent a piece.
Yeah.
The more you buy, the cheaper they are.
Okay,
right?
Got it. Like anything. Anything.
Right. And you can send the stars anytime, not only when they're live, but when you go back and do the replays.
Right.
You can do the stars. Then after that, you have your likes, your hearts, your angry, all the topics,
your reactions.
Be interactive with us.
Yeah.
And then also, last but not least, you can comment, talk to us, or give us a call at 727 637
That's right.
2416.
One more time for the people in the back.
727 637.
I heard you.
2416.
Let's do that, y'all.
All right.
Let's do it. So I appreciate that. And send them in right away. And then what we say, Tony Wells said, Miss Teresa is a star.
Yes, she is.
She absolutely is. Royce, I see you. Thank you for tuning in. Aria, thank you for joining in. Happy Wednesday, Carla B. The one and only Carla B in the building, baby. Also, what's good? We're just checking on residents. We did some canvassing. So we checked out, after the storm, of course, Thursday, Friday, I went out, kind of surveyed the neighborhood, just seeing, what I was able to see, talking to people who were out. A lot of debris down. People still were without power, but not so much in my neighborhood. So we looked at the power outage map. And when we looked at the map, a lot of people deep south didn't have power. And so we ended up setting up at Agape Soul Boutique. Shout out to Agape Soul and the Williamses for hosting us. And we sat up and we actually provided like 180 meals to people.
Agape Soul didn't Rush Hour?
Rush Hour, yep. Rush Hour was doing meals.
The community really came together. So let's say this. I think with everything that happened, like any relationship, when stuff is good, we give praises. When it's bad, we talk about it, right? Because we need to fix it.
That's true.
Our governor did a really good job.
I think so.
I think so too. He executed really nicely. So I will, I don't often give him his kudos, but this one is one of them. And then I'm proud of our mayor too, because he really handled this for his first.
Major crisis.
Right. He really came in and did the thing. And I mean, honestly, this was really seamless. Like, we really for our city.
But people still.
But you know what? Looking at it, 90% of the people already have the electricity here in the state of Florida.
Okay.
For anybody, I was looking at the news. Anybody that that landlines and stuff wasn't broken, that and they wasn't thrown away and swept away and all. They should have their electricity by Sunday.
Okay. Good,
so that's a good,
especially looking at the impact. I know that there are a lot of people that still need help. And so I saw that Carla Bristol was organizing some stuff. Michelle Rayner took some things to Fort Myers.
Right, I saw her.
Don't forget about like towns like Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda, because Arcadia is another one of those towns. And so you hear about Fort Myers because that's where it hit, but there's also those other little small towns
where they hit, the bridges, the roads were closed. It's a lot of stuff. And so if you have extra supplies that you got when we were preparing for it, if you can go ahead and donate them, they can. I mean, hurricane season isn't over with yet, so we cross our fingers that we don't get hit with another one, but we never know how it's gonna go. There's another storm out there. They're not predicting that it's coming our way, but this is Mother Nature, so
it's unpredictable.
It's very unpredictable, so we never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
But if you have extra supplies and stuff like that, yes, donate them. Then there's also resources for everybody that has been impacted, and Pinellas County was impacted. So like, I know food stamps right now, you can if everybody can apply, they're giving them out to, if you already have food stamps, you will get more. Because electricity and everything was out.
People bought a lot of food, right? Maybe before that, and then you had to spend resources on survival food, and
then electricity went out. Electricity went out and stuff like that. So there are assistance for you. FEMA is up. If you lost electricity or any damages was out to your house, please use your resources because they're out there for us to use.
Absolutely.
Right?
Shout especially out to Qiana Rucker, because she did a podcast last night that where she was talking about how to apply and how to navigate, some of those things. I think her and Latasha Lee did something together, and they were providing information to the community as well about how to apply for those types of things.
So, and I seen there's a lot of people on Facebook, if you know them, that's posting and helping you navigate through it. Qiana Rucker is very, very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're knowledgeable or know her in any kind of capacity, look her up.
She wins totally.
She wins totally.
She actually was here. She came here when she was a guest on the Breakfast
She's
Club.
been a guest a few times.
Yeah,
she came in here and on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice.
So
nice.
yeah.
Good stuff, y'all. I'm saying that because I don't really be there on Sundays. That's kind of my rest day.
Yeah, it is. But we're honestly, we're gonna start getting him on Sunday since we're interacting. With our guests.
Look. Okay, live on air. Y'all gonna reel me back in. And then the last thing too, talking about DeSantis and his response. One of the things that I saw that was interesting. We talk about politics is that like all of the Florida GOP voted against disaster relief funding. And this was like literally maybe a month or so before this disaster hit. And so when we talk about highlighting contradictions and giving kudos, we definitely give him his kudos for the way that he responded. But it's just unfortunate that him, Rick Scott, Marco Rubio, and the other senators from, the senators from Florida,
right,
and the GOP state reps didn't vote in support of federal funding and having funding available for disaster relief. And so
here you go. Don't let the smoke and mirrors fool you. Right. I mean,
he's like going around right now saying, we did good, and that's what you see. But what you don't see is the fact that they voted against funding for this disaster,
for this right here. And we live in Florida, and I'm glad you said that.
And now they're doing a GoFundMe basically with this volunteer Florida with his wife. They raised maybe about 24 million, but
we wouldn't have had to do this.
They voted away billions,
right? Just to be spiteful, because there was no reason. This was like an ego-driven pride thing. Why they said no. So when election comes up, in November,
right?
Remember that it's November 8th, right?
It is.
Okay, November 8th. Remember that as well, because a lot of times we highlight. Because I was just telling Brother John, off the air that it's Rick Scott and him. I mean Charlie Crist. Sorry, I don't know why.
Charlie Crist and DeSantis, but
right.
Rick Rubio's running, I think,
against Val
Demings,
right. We really, really need to rally up and make sure that information is put out there and that the people go out there and vote.
Absolutely.
right?
Because so Charlie Chris, hit us up, man.
Please.
He's from St. Pete, so if you want to come through, dog.
Right. Charlie Chris, if anybody on your team is listening.
Yeah, y'all come through. Let people know what y'all doing and what your plans are. Right. Because like we're not really hearing from you. I mean, I'm not hearing. And maybe it's because like they got that hometown, they thinking maybe hometown secured and it's a statewide race. And so maybe he's going to other parts of the state. I don't know what the strategy is.
I don't know what the strategy is too. And then I've been kind of laid back this election season here locally. So I haven't did a lot of stuff. And maybe I probably need to jump in this last little bit of the race.
Double Dutch.
We're going to turn double Dutch in and like hop on in.
Yeah, because I've been doing doors. I've been knocking doors for Keisha Benson, canvassing and really just talking to residents, about her for the school board campaign, board District 3, county-wide seat. And so and there's a lot of excitement, not a lot of energy about this election, which is not, uncommon, but we definitely want to continue to get people involved. Carla B put a question in here that we may have an answer for. It says, I do have a question about trees down and if the city is still picking up from the front of the property. Any other support that we're aware of for down trees in St. Pete? Miss Teresa, if you in, I'm going to ask you if you can maybe put a link, because I did see a link that they had on the stpete.org website where they basically outlined all of the ways that you can dispose of debris. Okay. The short answer is that they said Monday is when they started, picking up the debris that you put in front of your house. They wanted to have the vegetation separate. And so if you had shingles or stuff blow off your roof and, chairs that might have been destroyed, any construction or furniture type stuff, separate that. Don't put it all in the same pile, because they're picking up like vegetation stuff first and then they'll get the other things afterwards. And there was a lot of stuff, like even canvassing yesterday, I seen there was a lot of stuff in people's yards that still needs to be picked up. But yeah, continue to put it by the curb. Make sure you separate it. And then if we could get somebody to put a link in the chat for the other instructions.
So what he said is help them help us.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll complain sometimes and be like, they didn't, but there's simple instructions out there. Yeah. So do make sure that you separate it.
Yep.
So that they can get it and put it in the proper way, proper places. I mean,
the real deal. And so, look, y'all, you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, the new 99 Gems morning show. And you saw it in the caption. Your brother John is asking for your support. We're going to get into that after the hour. But I do need your help with a thing that we're doing. You probably know what that thing is if you've been watching. But we're going to talk about the thing. We want to give some context for it. And then I'm going to ask you all for some help. We got Ask Qiana that's going to be coming up as well. And then some other calls to action that will be happening after the break. But right now, again, if you missed it earlier, you can send in stars to support the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. You can also go to 99gemstheberg.com and donate. If you want to give directly to the station, you can do that as well. Just go to 99gemstheberg.com. Can I do a quick this day in history? I forgot.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all totally on the same page today.
We are.
Go ahead.
Look, we've been doing this together for a while.
We have.
Okay. So this day in history. Today is October 5th. It's the 200.
Today's my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Marco.
Marco.
Okay, go ahead.
History was made. It's the 278th day of the Gregorian calendar year. On this day, let me see, it's kind of small for some reason. Landbroke Grove train crash in West London killed 31 people. The U.S. Public Broadcasting Service, or PBS, was founded, and workers in a strike in Hollywood, California, turned bloody at the entrance of Warner Brothers Studios. And also, just another note on today. Today is otherwise known as the Holy Day of Atonement for Jewish. It's a Jewish holiday.
Okay.
It's Yom Kippur, and Yom Kippur is considered the holiest day in Judaism. The holiday lasts approximately 25 hours and is typically observed with fasting and prayer in alignment with the themes of atonement and repentance. On Yom Kippur, people observing the holiday are asked to abstain from food and drink, as well as other like sexual relations. It's almost like Ramadan, it sounds like.
Wait, no drink, like no water?
Yep, like no food, no drink.
For 25 hours?
Yeah, that's what it's saying. Typically lasts for 25 hours. With Ramadan, we do sun up from sundown. Yeah. So this is like kind of twice that, because sun up to sundown is like 12 hours. So yeah, you probably like check on your Jewish friends. Can we say that?
Yeah, because I'm thinking like no water.
Yeah, it's like Ramadan, so I've done it, and I know.
But 25 hours?
I don't think I've done 25 hours.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's what's encouraged, and it's saying it's encouraged that people spend the day asking God's forgiveness for their sins and donating to charity. That's the Today is Yom Kippur. I'm not sure what the greeting is for it, but I'm sure it usually is like some greeting. So if you are participating in the fast, God bless you, and we wish you well and happy Yom Kippur for those who are celebrating.
Yes.
Also on October 5th, 2011, Steve Jobs, the visionary founder of Apple, which revolutionized computing, music, and mobile communications industries with such devices like the Macintosh, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. He died at 56 years old of complications of pancreatic cancer on October 5th, 2011. Steve Jobs, which was, I just love his story when I saw it. And just, when I got familiar with just how he, started the company, they fired him from the company. He went off, did some other stuff. They ended up bringing him back. And then when he came back, like he really just took off, and he didn't, it's kind of like the Henry Ford story where he didn't invent the car.
Yeah.
But his innovations, enhanced it. And so same thing with like Jobs. He didn't invent the computer, but he revolutionized it in a way to make it where like every household could have a personal computer.
Do you remember your first Mac?
I didn't have a Mac.
Or it was at school.
Yeah, I remember the school computers.
The first Mac computer.
I remember 9th grade working on a Mac.
So I remember in elementary school having the big one.
Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah, the big one.
The big square one.
Yeah.
With the floppy disk and everything. Yeah. And I think they said like the floppy disk had maybe 3.5 megabytes or something like that on the floppy. And now one photo would fill up a floppy disk.
Wow.
You said like one selfie would actually fill up a floppy disk. So to look at how computing has changed over the years, just remember that like on our first computer, you had enough data storage for one picture.
Oh, and we were doing stuff on there.
And we was working it. We was doing like all kind of programs, and we were doing like mostly like, wording and some coding. I did some like basic introductory coding stuff. I wish I would have stuck with it if I know what I know now. So if I can go back and tell my 9th grade self something,
coding is what it's not too late.
Like pay attention to that stuff and
it's not too late.
It's never too late. As long as there's life, there's hope. So look, it's the top of the hour. It's 8:00. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a real quick break. Okay, I seen Carla. She tagged Gershom Faulkner to have him invite Shakita. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. We also got a shout out for Ken Welch again, Royce. I appreciate all that you do. We need to get Royce in here too. I wanted to talk with Royce about this inflation and just some wealth care strategies and stuff that he's doing. So Royce, keep your line open, man. We're gonna have you come in and just kind of talk about the impacts of the economy and what's going on and things we can be doing as a community. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna take a real quick break. You'll hear some news from Democracy Now!, the headline news, the War and Peace Report. When we come back, we're going to do Ask Qiana, and then I'm going to ask y'all for a favor. So y'all stick around for it. You listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on 99 Jams.
Against the Russian invaders in the south as well as the east. All of this and more after the latest world news.
Hello, I'm Chris Barrow with the BBC News. Aid agencies and local officials in Somalia have warned of a looming catastrophe, with hundreds of thousands threatened by starvation unless aid is urgently stepped up. The worst drought in decades has driven many people from their homes. Andrew Harding reports from a hospital in the southwestern Somali city of Baidoa.
This is a small hospital in Baidoa, and the doctor in charge here is Mustafa Mohammed from Baidoa. In your life, have you seen things this bad before?
No, the worst.
Just meeting a young woman called Hussein Ibrahim. She's 29 years old. She's brought in her young son, 3-year-old Ali. So his feet are swelling.
Yeah.
Because of hunger.
Because of hunger, yeah. 2 of her children have died already.
She's lost 2 children just in the last few days.
Yeah, for hunger.
Efforts to send aid are complicated by a long-running conflict with the territory in 3 of the regions, which President Putin asserted last week would be Russian forever. Ukraine's President Zelensky said his troops were making rapid progress, especially in the southern region of Kherson. Hugo Beshega is in Kiev.
The Russians have been forced to abandon some key positions as the Ukrainian army is advancing in the region of Kherson along the Dnieper River, which is acting as a natural barrier there. And it seems that the Russians are trying to avoid being circled by the Ukrainian army. And we're getting reports from Russian sources suggesting a very difficult situation for those Russian forces in that part of the Kherson region.
Russia's ambassador in Washington has condemned the latest US military aid to Ukraine, worth $600 million. Anatoly Antonov called it a threat to Moscow's strategic interests. The trial is about to begin in Spain of 2 men accused of causing a high-speed rail accident that killed 80 people nearly a decade ago. The trial is expected to last 9 months. Here's Guy Hedgecoe.
In July of 2013, a high-speed train derailed as it came round a bend near the northwestern city of Santiago de Compostela. The train, which should have been travelling no faster than 80 kilometres per hour, was going at more than twice that speed. The European Rail Agency has said that the Spanish authorities have put too much emphasis on human error when investigating the crash.
World news from the BBC. The Indonesian president, Joko Widodo, is due to...
He said that was our cue, right?
That was our cue. I don't know if y'all heard it, but we heard it, so
World
we are
news
back.
from the BBC, baby. Right back at you like we never left.
Yes.
So, welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Qiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That?
See that?
Yeah.
Now, before we jump into something, did you watch the BET Hip Hop Awards?
I did not.
So, I watched some of it.
I crashed last night.
So it came on at 9:00 at night.
I was probably asleep at 9:30.
So,
but I was up at like 3 this morning. So,
yeah, you were up early. You were up early.
Yeah, I was up early. I'm usually, I just don't bother y'all.
No, I'm up early too, so don't worry.
But BET Awards, tell me.
Right. So, Trina was awarded the Hip Hop of Year award.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she have anything?
Not for the year. No, for
some lifetime stuff.
Lifetime.
Okay,
lifetime.
Gotcha. I got you.
So they gave that to her. I kudos that, right?
Yep.
So it was nice. So another thing, it really was. So they had a battle rap.
Okay, was it a cipher?
They did ciphers. Some of the ciphers I didn't like.
Okay, did they do the was hip hop? Because they usually do the R&B.
No R&B ciphers.
Okay,
it's just hip hop award.
Gotcha.
But they did do battle rap.
Okay.
And then one of the battle rappers said something that made me say, what happened to monkeypox, y'all?
Yeah, put that in the chat. What happened to monkeypox?
Because, we were all scared of monkeypox. Everybody was talking about it. It was on the news. You need to look at, you need to get your vaccine.
Yep.
You need to do this. I haven't heard about monkeypox in a while. What happened to monkeypox? Yeah. I need to know.
Where did the monkeypox go, y'all?
They just disappeared in thin air.
Tag powerplugradio.com and Miss Charlene. Charlene, I think she might be with the CDC now. She was over at the health department for a while. I don't want to get it wrong what she's doing, but she was with the health department, and we worked with her. That was one of the things we did during COVID. Was we brought testing centers, and it's a lot of cool stuff we did.
Whatever happened to divert us away from monkeypox? Because they did a really good job.
Yeah, just getting our attention off of it.
Because it just completely disappeared.
It did.
It really disappeared. I don't know. Tell me the last time y'all heard about monkeypox.
Just on the internet, but not in the news. I haven't heard anything about it in the news. Nothing on monkeypox, y'all. Okay. so I
guess everybody else thinking what happened? But y'all know y'all can call in 727-637-2416.
Yep, do that. Call us in, let us know what happened to monkeypox. I'm trying to find this Ask Qiana question. I had a good one here too.
Oh, okay. I like the Ask Qiana, especially the good one.
I can't see it. Where did it go?
He's gonna find it.
We will find it.
He's gonna find it.
What are some other notable award winners? Who are some of the other award winners that got stuff Like, because I usually like keep up with it and check it out, but I just didn't see.
DJ Drama.
Okay.
Got DJ of the Year.
Okay.
Fat Joe was the host.
Okay.
So yeah, he was pretty dope. Remy Ma came out and said, so
of
the
course,
whole Terror Squad came out
with Fat Joe hosting.
Right.
That's like me hosting and y'all not coming, right? Like you got to be there. Your team will be there.
Right. You. So they did a little Kim perform.
Okay. Did she do the robot thing?
Yep, she surely did.
She did that little Kim robot thing.
She did that. And everybody like loved it. Diddy didn't perform, but his son did.
Okay. I don't know why this is so small.
I don't know why. Like, it was an all right performance.
Okay, with his son.
With his son, like he was being Diddy.
Okay. Okay.
What else did I see there?
Carla B, she said, don't worry. She didn't say don't worry, but I'm thinking like, yeah, don't worry. If you missed it, it will be on 6 times a day for the next 6 months. That is so true. That is true. Boy, BET Awards, like they will run them things, man.
The Hip Hop Awards, yeah, so they're gonna
will. They will. And I saw a lot of clips too on the internet of, just like coming attractions as they were advertising it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Last night wasn't it for me that I just like after canvassing and all of the stuff, I just like fell out. So let's do Ask Qiana, and then after Ask Qiana, then we're gonna make this announcement. I'm gonna ask y'all for some help and some support, and hopefully y'all can deliver for your brother. All right, dear Qiana, after 40 years of marriage, this is tough. After 40 years of marriage, I just found out my husband has been having an emotional affair. In addition to an actual girlfriend he had 15 years ago. So he has an emotional affair in addition to a girlfriend that he had 15 years ago. I forgave him the last time. This time, he has only said he's wrong, but he hasn't offered an apology, nor is he remorseful. How can it be resolved? I have removed my wedding ring and refused to go to his family gatherings. I have read that if he doesn't have remorse or ask for forgiveness, it just won't work. Moreover, he blames me for his poor, impulsive choices. Then he minimizes what he did and tells me I'm overreacting. How do I gain his respect? How do you convince someone how badly they hurt you? How do I get him to make better choices?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
This is a really like put some thought in this answer, and I can't even answer it in the time frame in it. I mean, everybody has to take responsibility for their actions. I do think that other people's actions do push people to do other things, but I also think that person is responsible. So we were just talking about in a relationship, there's 3 things that you really need to do, right? It need to be consideration, commitment, and communication.
Okay.
I do feel like he made a conscious choice to step out and make an emotional attachment to somebody else, but he should have communicated that to his wife prior.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when there's people who, if he's not communicating with you, then you could be really upset. But if he communicated with you and you ignored and didn't make the changes, then you also need to look at yourself. This does not condone what he did.
That's kind of going along this line though, because that's how she's feeling, right? It says he blames me for his poor, impulsive choices. And I think that's kind of in that same vein, right? Where she may be like questioning, herself. And like she says, how do I gain his respect? How do you convince someone how badly they hurt you and get them to make better choices? Like you can't.
You really can't. It's really hard. Like you can't. When somebody loves you or when they're invested, they know when you hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because hurting the other person, when you hurt somebody you love, it hurts you.
Right, you do. You can see the hurt in their eyes.
Yeah. But I want to just pause on that because this is 40 years of marriage.
Right.
I don't know the dynamics of the relationship, but I'll tell you when
somebody's walking in.
When my wife is hurt, it hurts me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like when I hurt her, I'm hurt too. I feel that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's important, like, to know that, like, you don't have to convince somebody who loves you how bad you're hurt, because if you're hurt, if they love you like that, then they hurt too.
Now, don't you jump in here and then mess it up. Don't you jump in here and get Rob broke and you don't know what.
Like you've been here the whole time.
Oh no, we love your presence. Oh no.
Try that one. Try that one and see if that.
When you love someone, you just don't treat them bad.
Yeah, when you.
I
don't know why that.
I think it's a self-worth issue.
I don't know why that's. We're not hearing that mic. Keep going. It's usually those two, but something. And he got 10 mics. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on. We have to figure that out. Mr. J, what happened? Okay,
come on.
Yeah, you just swing
but
it.
I want to say that when you do love somebody, like Carla said right here, you don't want to see them hurt.
Right.
But I'm also a realist when it comes to this, and when you commit to somebody for a lifetime, things happen.
Right.
And you have to know a lot of times decision people make is not personal. Like, it's not a personal attack on you. So I don't want you to look at yourself completely and be like, oh, what's wrong with me person? And you carry all the burden. But you also have to look at yourself too and be like, what did I put? Because relationships take two people.
Mm-hmm.
It takes two.
Yeah.
Right.
To make a thing go right.
And there's always
and
signs.
the tango.
There's always signs.
Yeah.
Before the destruction.
Real facts.
Yeah.
And and people throw them out there, and it's up to you as a partner to catch them before it mess up your whole relationship.
Real deal.
I kind of don't like. I don't kind of like she's not. I don't think she's holding on to a lot of self-value because she's blaming herself and saying that how do I earn someone's respect? Well, in the real world, you didn't like what he's doing in his actions. It speaks more on him than you. Yeah. And when you can just hold yourself, because like dude doing stuff, and when he says like what you doing, like okay, what are you doing? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if I fall in here right now, I don't did something to clear this room out. Yeah. You know, y'all just ain't got about the middle of this show. Right. Like I can't breathe right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you probably did something, but I just want to base all their movements on you and your being. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, you shouldn't. That's not fair. On his behalf, but I don't know if he's really the one making her. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. It shows when you look at it. Like if you pass gas and I say, "Yo, Reno, you can't do that in here." Like we gotta communicate about this when it first happened.
But then, I'm gonna tell you how this like
15 years ago it happened.
No, watch this. No, but I'm telling you, watch this. Using that scenario, Reno. This not Reno, but people would say, well, you shouldn't have gave me that food that gave me gas.
Wow. Now see, when you're going that far, right, that's like, abuse.
You know what I'm saying?
That's abuse there.
Like if it wasn't for you giving me,
you'll do anything to win the argument, basically. That's abuse.
And I'm seeing that so much. Just as I'm beginning to just kind of fall back and really pay attention to things and how people interact and emote, and it's like I'm hearing that it's like you did something to clear out the room, but it's your fault. Because if you wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have did that.
I have this thing that I've been saying, and I said I was going to post it as well, that people at this point rather be right than to do what is right. Yeah. I'll say that again. People rather be right than to do what's right. You're so on like proving your point that you are right with the argument that you don't sit back and do what's right. You don't have to be right. Yeah. You know what I mean? You could sit back and like if you're arguing to be hurtful and not to be heard, then you're arguing like this is not a good thing.
It don't really work out.
You know
well.
what I mean?
Yeah. Your motivation, your motive.
That, you have to realize what's more important: winning the argument or your relationship.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to just fall back.
I say it all the time. You know, as a man, I speak from my position as a man. Yeah. Sometimes we can be dead right, so it ain't cool sometimes to be like trying to be right. Yeah. So really, as a man, because you lose your entire family being right. So that's my example.
That's dead right. Yeah, dead right.
You was right, dog. You was right.
Elijah Muhammad said that too. Don't be dead right.
You hear me? But you got to do what's right.
You got to do what's right. All right, so we're gonna take some of these comments. Carla B, she lightened up this morning. Consideration, communication, commitment. I love it. when someone cares about you, they don't want to see them hurt. She said, great advice. It's not about you. He did what he wanted to do. He wanted to without considering you. And she said he's predisposed, right, to doing it. He did it prior. So yeah, it's a lot of things that
it is,
to be considered.
Again, we still don't know.
Yeah.
Everything that's on the plate.
Yeah, we never know all of
we
them.
never even know. So
you got to read it in and just kind of.
So what we
between the
do
lines
is
and all
give
that
you
stuff,
both sides of the scenario, and then also let you know. But I mean, I'm not in this marriage, this 40-year marriage.
Yeah, it's goals though for me. I'm trying to make 40. I'm at like right around 30.
Right, and so now it is. 30. Is this worth throwing away your 40 years?
Yeah,
it's 40 years, man. It's like I can't say because I haven't done anything but live for 40 years.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like,
come
on, man. And you know what I'm saying. You shouldn't sound like this to me. You know what I'm saying. She sound, but it's a 40-year relationship, so she sounds like she's like chewed up almost.
Yeah, and then with that, the other thing too, I think that's one of the things that keeps people in these relationships where they're not happy is because, well, we've been together for 40 years, but if the last 25 have been miserable, you know, and you sticking it out because at year 20, we've been in it for 20 years, and now we've been in it 25 years, and now you 40 years down the road, and the only thing that's kind of keeping you there is the time that you've invested. Like, sometimes it's just like you just like real. I mean, and I don't advocate breakups and splitting up and leaving and all of that stuff. I never tell people to do that. You got to make the decision for yourself. But like a lot of times, that may be the only thing keeping you there is the time that you've spent. And I don't think that's a good thing.
No, so I don't think time should keep you there. But when you look at everything, you got to weigh your pros and your cons, right? With it, and then you got to see, is this one of your negotiables, right? Because when you go in a relationship, you have some non-negotiables that you should not compromise with, right?
Right.
But when you come in there, like I said, when you're ready to, when you commit to somebody,
he didn't write in, yeah.
When he didn't write in,
yeah.
But
when you commit to somebody,
but when you commit to somebody, you have to know that when you're spending a lifetime, there's going to be a lot of error.
Yeah.
That's going to happen throughout this lifetime. We're not marrying anybody or being with anybody that's going to be with perfection,
right?
Because we're not.
Right.
And you have to know, if you know your partner and know their heart and know where they come from, then that determines on how you go. You know?
I agree.
And if he doesn't care and he's not willing to fight or fix what's wrong, then that may be your answer right there.
And that's a real tough bar though to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't care. You know what I mean? He did that 15 years ago, and then 15 years y'all still together. So I think
no. He cheated 15 years. Like, he had what I heard is that he cheated 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now he's having the emotional relationship with an ex-girlfriend.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, when he had the physical moment, when he was cheating, basically, he did not care then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
he's having the emotional. He's doing the emotional now, not physical.
Yeah,
he doesn't not care then, because I can't say he don't care.
Yeah, we're gonna have to turn the corner on this one, but I think that's what you just brought up is another one of those conversations that I think we need to have about how it confuses people, especially women, when they talk about men. Like, well, if he loved me, he wouldn't cheat, or if he cared about me, he wouldn't do these things. Like, that's a big question, and it's a lot in that to explore, like how men feel and how you can still do things that would like make it seem like, well, I don't care. It's like, you can care about somebody and cheat on them, but or we can debate it. That's debated. But we gotta elbow.
Yeah, but no, we can elbow this because we're like, but you're right, because people can detach and do other things that doesn't attach to you. And that's why I say, like, a lot of times stuff people do does not have anything to do with you.
Yeah, there you go. You did say that. All right, so you listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, the new 99 Jams morning show right here on 99.1 FM, WUJM, the Berg. You got to say it like that too. And if you'd like to donate, sponsor a show, or contribute, there's multiple ways you can do that. But the best way to do it is just by going to 99jamstheberg.com, and you can give a financial contribution. If you like to advertise your show, advertise your business or promote anything, buy an ad, all of that stuff. Anything you want to do to get engaged with the radio station, go to 99jamstheberg.com, and we can make that happen. And so King Jab is in the building. Welcome, the voice of the people. And like, we getting a full house, but we don't have all the mics, man. I don't know what's going on.
We got it.
I don't know if it's unplugged and they don't want to. So this is what we want to talk about. And this, again, I'm going to ask for y'all help. Okay, so the City Council of St. Pete, we're talking about history, right? So City Council of St. Petersburg has opened up the application process to appoint a new council member to fill the District 7 vacancy. In order to be considered, an applicant must submit an application through the process that has been identified. The city council, they have about 45 days to fulfill it, and the person who is appointed will basically complete the term that was vacated when that was left when the seat was open. So here's the situation, y'all. This is an appointment, not an election. They are going to vote to appoint someone, and basically they're deciding who they want to work with. The city council members are deciding like who they want to work with,
the best fit
to move forward, in filling this seat until the next election.
And when is the next election?
So the next election, that's another, like, it's so many nuances in this thing. The next election may be November of next year.
Okay.
Or it may be November of the following year.
Oh, we don't know.
That
don't work.
Yeah, because right now there's something on the ballot that will determine when the next election is. So right now it's set for November of next year.
Right.
If the referendum fails, then it will stay that way. But if it passes, then the date will be moved. And so the person could possibly be doing maybe almost 2 years to fill out the rest of the term.
And when will we know when the referendum?
After November.
After November 8th.
Yep, November 8th is the election. And so basically what's happening right now is that the person that they will choose, again, will fill that term. And then the incumbent will have to run for the seat. And in order to be considered, all of the materials have to be submitted and turned into the city clerk's office to address the impact of the hurricane. That deadline for application has been extended to October 7th, which is this Friday at 5 p.m. And what I'm going to ask y'all to help me with is I'm going to apply for the job.
So let me say that he's gonna apply, and I mean honestly, we've been talking about this for like a couple of weeks now, and so if I know he's gonna ask, but we're gonna ask that we need your support. Your brother John needs your support.
Yes,
and we've talked about how do you support him, right?
Yep.
What is write a letter.
Let me give some more context for this, right?
Go ahead.
Because here's the thing that I think is important for us to understand. This is a job application.
Right.
So I mean, and that's how I'm approaching it, right?
So I'm going to interview you for this job.
Okay.
I got you.
So you're going to
right on the air.
Let's do it. But I want a context because it's a job application. And so what the ask for me, for the audience and for you all is to be references. I need references. When you fill out the application, you put your qualifications, you put why they should hire you, you put all of that stuff on the paperwork, but then you have friends and family that send you references.
Not only friends, families, associates, people in the personal, like if you know that brother John had did something personal for you, like he has held a lot of positions here in Pinellas County.
Yeah, we kind of did
He have hired a lot of people, right? He has helped a lot of communities, especially not forget that he's the president of Child's Park, right?
Yeah.
And so what he does, he brought a lot of resources right here in our neighborhood that have enhanced and helped not only the adults but the children. So everybody, right?
Yeah, thank you for that.
So when you think about this, no, that's okay. So I got you.
Thank you.
I got you.
I mean, hear that. Yeah, just to hear that.
No. So I got So here we go, because we always say that we're a little biased here, but you could check his resume. So here we go. I'm finna like throw some stuff out to you. First, I want to know why you.
Man, this is why I never really ran, because like I believe that the work has a language and it speaks for itself, but I gotta say it, right? But so why me? Yeah, that's what's up. Look, it's getting hot. The hot seat, I don't mind. But why me? I think it's just because the time demands like somebody like me to do it, and we've been doing the work for a while. When I say we, I know I got to get out of that. This is like a habit that I have because I never speak independently. And that's just the way I was taught and trained. And I really believe when you say I, you're saying it independent. So even if I'm talking about myself as an individual, I'll say we, because it's me and God or me and somebody. It's always more than one of us. So I got to work on that. Y'all help me with that.
No, you don't even have to work on that.
Just know that. Just know when I say we, some people be wanting to know, well, who is we? Who else he talking about?
Everybody. And that's so to elaborate, I can't even speak. Let me say this, is that you are listening to a leader right now. Leaders lead their people. Bosses just tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So when you hear the we, that means that he's doing the work with us.
Yeah.
And not by himself. He's not delegating and saying this is what you need to get done. What he's saying is that we are doing it, and I'm gonna lead you and not just boss you. So I'm gonna leave that there.
I appreciate it. So why me? In addition to already doing the work, we've worked with the last two city council members, the ones who have been in the seat, Wingate Newton and then Lisa Willa Bowman. Like Wingate was the council member when I started, and we worked closely with them as the president of the Child Neighborhood Association, and really knowing what the job entails, what the relationships are, working with city staff. I have relationships with like several members of the staff, just because of the way that we've been working. And I want to continue that work and see how we can bring resources. I see the opportunity with the seat being vacant. We also see what the needs are of the community. And I just feel like I can really bring value to the council in a way that is needed, for the time.
My question, Brother John, because I remember when we first get to rocking and rolling, man, years ago, I was like, man, you know what, Brother John? You.
Yeah.
It should be you, Brother John.
Yeah.
And so my question is, why now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what sparked the now? You know what I'm saying? I think it's time.
That's a great question, because you're right. Like 12 years ago, and it was actually in my Facebook memories. Like it was like, I don't really do politics like that. So somebody I was not engaged in the political process at all. And it was I had to grow to get to that space. And now it really hit me after the primary. And King Jab, really, you helped to influence that, because you called into the show and you said, as a returning citizen and a voter, I'm not really excited about this election. I don't have, like a whole lot of options. I don't have a lot of people that I'm looking to. And he called in and he said it. And that was like, for me, it was like, dang. And we asking people to step up. We asking people, who to run and to do things. And they're like, I'm already doing it. I just don't have that job. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? If me running would help to inspire somebody else to do it, because it's more like being an example for people, being, a returning citizen, having a background, coming from where I come from, and then hearing you say that specifically, it really hit me like, man, if I ran, what would that do for our community? What would it mean to our people? People like me, people like you, the 8 Kings, and people who we kind of been watching from afar, looking at it, saying, man, they but if I do it and I put, and I go through it, what would come behind that? And that's why I'm really asking for these letters of support and references. And I'm going to ask y'all, if we, get the job, we're going to need help. But it was that moment of saying, man, we could really motivate people. We could inspire people to get engaged and get involved in the process, and then really make some substantive change. And so I believe that the dynamics of the council right now, seeing what they're doing and how they operating, and my temperament, the way that I operate, the way I show up and the way I facilitate, I think I can really bring a voice to the council that's not presently there at this time. And so That's why now, man. Like really,
and
right now.
Mama Blue say he has been preparing for this now. You have. Go ahead. Somebody else said the hardest working man in St. Pete.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Yeah, I know it'd be hard for me to take that stuff.
Go ahead.
Let's take this call. Caller, you on the air?
Hey, what's happening? It's the one and only Mr. Edmund.
Oh, Mr. Edmund driving by.
Mr. Perfect attendance, man.
Flyby.
Come on, you gonna hold on the line? You gonna stick with us, man, and be here for us?
I just want to say something real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. But I want to say, Brother John, thank you for all your work. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your willingness, to serve and step up for District 7, and to throw your name in the hat for City Council to make the appointment. So I will be sending my letter, my email to City Council, showing my support, asking the audience, man, get behind Brother John, and let's get this appointment. Keep up the good work, y'all. I'll be close.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
It's the I be close.
Hey, you trying to take scam job as the drone?
Yeah, the fly over. Yeah, right.
Fly over and drop a message.
Drop something, right?
Hey, so I got a question, and I'm gonna see how I want to frame this. Because I'm gonna kind of add a little context to my question also, but I'm gonna ask the question first. How do you feel about those that are concerned about you being a part of the Nation of Islam?
Right.
And what I want to add to that is I don't feel that it should be concerned, because as voters, we will vote for someone in the LGBTQ community. We'll vote for someone that's Jewish. We'll vote for someone that's Christian. And all of these are conflicting beliefs. Some people don't believe the same thing you believe. So I don't understand why it would be an issue, but I want you to, touch in on it.
No, I appreciate that question. I think your answer really said it. It shouldn't be a concern, because I'll say it like Malcolm X in the Ballad of the Bullet. My religion is my personal business. Like your religion is your personal business. And when you examine my track record in working with people in the community, my religion has never really come up in those interactions. I work with Jewish people, Christians, and sometimes I quote the Bible, working with Baptist preachers and having the support. So like I've been doing this work, but I think it's just because they don't understand the Nation of Islam. They don't understand the impact that it has on our community. And I'm proud to be a member and an alumni of a class that produced Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali. Like I'm in that class, the class that Cassius Clay was in. You know how people got their fraternities and they throw up, they
hold up.
Well, people who were in my class, he started out as Cassius Clay, a loudmouth boxer, but he's known now as the greatest of all time, not because of what he did as a boxer, but because of what he contributed to society and the community as a human being. And he's a Muslim. You know what I mean? And so I'm in that class. Malcolm X, Detroit Red, before he became, a member of the Nation of Islam. And now we love Malcolm X, but we don't talk about Detroit Red. Well, I got a Detroit Red, part of me that was removed when I accepted Islam. And so my connection to the Nation of Islam is why I'm sitting here today, because it hadn't I been a member of the Nation of Islam, I might have been the one that was taking your auntie purse, or you know what I'm saying, or knocking somebody in the head.
Detroit Red.
Yeah, and so I don't think that it should be a concern. And then when you just talk to people who have worked with me, and they'll be able to help you if that is something that you're concerned
because
or
I
considering.
don't think religion has ever stopped you from helping somebody else.
No,
it never was a barrier. When you go out to this neighborhood and when you're feeding people, when you never say, hey, look, are you a Christian? I can't help you. Are you a Jew? I can't help you.
Never.
Let me add that to you. I have a video of you cutting the grass in the alley in Charles Park Neighborhood Association on a Saturday.
Yes, sir.
I don't recall you going to the door and asking the people before I come back in this alley and do neighborhood cleanup, are you an Islam Islam?
Yeah.
Or are you Christian
Come
based?
join my mosque. Yeah.
You know, are you Bible based? You know, none of that right there, man. So the work's been being done.
Right. And the only question you've ever asked is, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
What do you
That's
need?
what, you know, that question is what got me in. That's what got me in this mess. Was just trying to help out, for real.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. He invited me to do the cleanup one time, and I think it was probably one of the most, like, some of the most fun I recently had. Like, they were calling me. I'm up the road. They like, Jab, oh man, look, man, get these bags. I'm gone. So I like, and that's the involvement in the community. Another thing I seen as we had already been prepping for this.
Yeah.
And this was put on hold because of the hurricane. We were going to do this last week, and you didn't come to the show. And the reason you didn't come because you had to take the precedent of prepping our people.
Yeah.
And that was the leadership that I seen in you. I was like, that's big because we was ready to roll it out.
Yeah. But I got to call and check on.
I got to call and
check on my people, man.
I got to make these phone calls to make sure these resources can get here to our people. This was the conversations we were having. So,
I appreciate that.
That's recent leadership. Like it's happening real time, y'all.
Yeah, I love that, man. And then the other thing, just kind of going back to the why now, and just being totally transparent. Is this a growth moment for me? Because as a student in the Nation of Islam, our program is self-improvement. And it says self-improvement is the basis for community development. And there's 3 steps in that process: self-examination, self-analysis, and self-correction. And now we're talking about improving the community broadly. You know, it's like the next level for me. The desire that I have and the things that I've seen is like, I know that I can bring value and bring resources and bring something to the table when I get to that council. But what stopped me from doing it was I don't like the examination. I'm a black man. Y'all know we don't like to do exams. You know what I mean? And they being real relentless right now. And I just didn't want to open myself up to all of that examination and analysis. And so know that your brother, you know, I got struggles, and, you know, we tell our story that we want people to know. So it's like, I never really wanted to disappoint the people because of what I know about myself. But now it's like, okay, whatever it is what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm open, you know, I'm willing to be examined. And if this is God's will for my life, that I get it and I pass the test, you know, the initial test, and I'm able to get in the seat and do the work, then we'll continue to work. But if it's not his will and something go crazy, just know that I'm going to be good one way or the other, because my heart is in it to really do the job and to serve the people. And to submit to that process is tough. Like, I'm still, you know, I got to get with my CPA and like, let me look at this stuff. Let's go through these, you know, these documents and update my resume. And it's like, I'm starting to realize, like, there's a lot of stuff that we did that I forgot about it because I don't keep a running tally. I'm too busy. Like what you said, like, I ain't thinking about what was the date and the time that we did that thing. It's like, we got people in front of us that need to eat right now. And so that's been one of the things, like, I'm trying to get all of that stuff in order, be candidate ready.
Because you said a good thing, like your resume, right? You haven't updated because you don't have time. You get the jobs of what you did last time before, right? Yeah. By word of mouth. So it's not like you're submitting resumes to anybody. You're just like, oh, he did a good job. Brother John is he the one for the job. And it happens, and then before you know it, it's 10 years and you ain't even looked at a resume. Right. And then there's a lot of stuff that you forget throughout the years. You just know I've been working.
Yeah, and then the other part about that, you say getting a job. Like, I ain't had a whole lot of jobs. Like, so a lot of the stuff that I've done, it was a part of a job that I had. You know what I mean? And so I haven't like been job hopping, but we were just working.
When I say not physical job, but I mean like the work. The work. So you get it. So another concern. If you don't mind.
Yeah, keep going. We're doing an interview.
Yeah, we're doing an interview.
And if y'all support me, make sure that y'all do references. I need the references.
Right, please do.
Okay, keep going.
So what about those who may be concerned about like your use of social media?
This is funny because I heard this, right? So I'll tell you what, one of the concerns that I heard was like how there's times when I'll post questions and I won't respond to them, right? So I'll create a space for people to dialogue. And you know how social media goes. Once you get into that dialogue, people have their different views, their different opinions. And for me, I think that's healthy because if you've heard me say this before, you can't sincerely agree to disagree with somebody if you never hear from them. If you're always talking to people who agree with you, who think like you, who support you, then your view is missing something, in my opinion. And so to be able to create space for people to share their views, even though those views are different from their own, I think it is a value add. Because, you know, and then of course, when it gets to a place when you start seeing disrespect and it goes left, I'll jump in and try and, you know, corral it. And I've even deleted, you know, comments from people when it goes too far. But for the most part, it creates a space for people who have differing opinions to really share those opinions. And then you see in the comments, you know how those comment threads start, where it's like one comment, and then below that, it's like a whole nother thread. And I've seen people work out differences in those sub comments in those threads, and it's like that's me. And then you see the relationships that are formed. You see people hearing like I didn't think about that, I didn't see that, and so that's why
two
I
sides
of
the pancake. And so you can have that aha moment on your post. Like sometimes that when you don't think about it, because a lot of times we're stuck in our own ways and we think the way we think, and until somebody introduce or show us something different, we think what we do is the right way.
And so that's why we do that. Like I'm happy to create space, and I'm always willing to open up. And then at the end, I'll come in and I'll tell you what I think. But I like to hear from the people, and it also helps. Like when we put out policy questions, that's another thing. When I use social media to pull out, like it helps me and it helps inform me on what the people are really saying and what the people think and what the people want. And so that's
so
that's
we got a person here, Qiana. King Jab, who keeps saying, you know, I haven't did much work, you know what I mean? But we keep calling a lot of stuff that we do in the community the work. And so let me ask you a question, Brother John, and let's see if you can kind of go back and forth about it. Like far as in like let's give the people examples of your responses to like COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? When COVID-19 hit, you know, we kind of bunkered down as a nation, you know, as a planet. And how was your response back then? Remember some of the stuff that we had fun on, but it's so many things, man. But you saying that you haven't had many jobs, but you've been doing a lot of work. So give me an example, Brother John, of the work. Because we call it the work for fun.
So I said it to really start. The work is self-improvement. That's the work for me. And self-improvement is the basis for community development. And so you're always working to improve yourself and then your collective self, right? Because you have your individual self and then you have extensions of self. We call it family. The other extension of self, we call it community. And then the other extension of self, you have humanity and mankind. Some people even consider plant life, you know, like a part of them, right? Because you have relationships and extensions of you. And so life is just so broad. And so for me, the work is my life. You know what I mean? And that's why I pour so much into it, because as I'm doing the work, I'm always learning things about myself, learning things about my community, and like really double clicking and going into like the work that really matters to people and not the philosophical stuff. COVID-19, but that's my philosophy. That's what fuels me, right? And so, but like COVID-19 was one of those times where people didn't really know what to do. We just knew we had to do something, and we knew that we were restricted. And so our team, shout out to Mr. Edmond, like he was like, it was the mask thing. It was like, okay, everybody was saying it's a mask mandate. Nobody knew where to get masks.
That was a defining moment.
And so
that was a defining moment. This ain't about King Prano. At this moment. But literally sat on this show and said, you know, and like it was the end of the show moment. He's like, I'm finna go get some. I got masks. I got gloves, and I got a sanitizer. And I'm just gonna put it like in a bag. I said, so you mean like a COVID kit? And everything changed.
A COVID kit.
We're making COVID kits.
We started making COVID kits, and this was like like you think about when they first said you need a mask, and everybody was like, "Well, we need a mask." Oh, and matter of fact, we gonna need to do this probably Friday. We'll come back Friday and keep it going, because what had happened was we saw what was happening in China, and in China they were putting on masks. But they was telling people here that you didn't need to have masks. Y'all remember that part of it?
Like, remember why they wearing masks?
Why they wearing masks in China where it started, and we not wearing masks here? And then we later on, because we got history behind us now, they didn't have enough masks in circulation. So they told people you don't need a mask to give them time to start producing masks. while they were in that phase of you don't need a mask, we was like, no, they got masks in China. We're going to put masks in Child's Park. We're going to put masks in Southside St. Pete. And so we passed the hat, like literally raised a couple dollars, ordered some masks off of Amazon, bagged them up, put them in kits, and started doing these COVID kits. Took that idea to a funder and said, like, yo, what's up with the mask program? By that time, the mask mandates and stuff started coming out, and we already had like a machine in place to be able to do the distribution of masks. And in the 8 Kings Collective, we just organized and started putting masks out. In this Mask Up campaign, we put like, I don't even untold thousands. And that's see this other part I got to get good at. I got to know how many thousands of masks we put out, y'all. But I you know,
we got the data. But the data, we do have the data.
Because like y'all know, y'all see them 8 Kings masks, y'all seen all of the other stuff that we was doing. Like y'all know that we was like been doing this stuff for real, and that's why we asking for references.
My extension, I think I probably put out at least about 25,000.
Easy. And it was 8 of us, plus the supporters and plus the family.
Everybody else. Yeah, so you know what? Unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
We
gotta let Tony Charles walk in and rubbing his head.
Right.
Saying, oh,
so let me say, if you have to leave, because we're gonna finish this conversation or on Friday.
Yeah.
If you have to leave the people with one thing right now, what would you leave them with?
I would leave them with this. If you think that I would be good for this job, based upon what you've seen me do, what your experiences with me, then send in a letter. Let them know that you one of my references. That's how I'm looking at it. Just send in a letter saying I support Brother John. If you don't know how to write a letter, that's fine. You don't have to. Just put in the subject matter, I support Brother John for the city council appointment. And then put your personal experience, because I was thinking about doing like a form letter, but I don't want to do a form letter. Like, I want y'all to say what your experience is, and that way it's authentic and it's really coming from you, so that if you've had an experience with me or if you think that I'll be good for the job, just send me a reference. Send it to it's council@stpete.org. Send it in, let them know that you know.
And you may see it on all our pages, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We might have a list of things that he has done, because we always say check check your references, look at his resume.
I'll post that.
So so you'll know, you can go back and fact check.
Yeah.
And please see the stuff.
That's why I said it's the examination. You know what I mean? So I'm open. And if it's God's will, man, we'll get the job. And I'll say this, the other last thing that's kind of ironic with this whole thing for me, right? Talking about the Nation of Islam and the way that this all is shaken out. Friday is the deadline for the application process, and it's also the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birthday. It's the day that we're going to be celebrating and making him over. And so it's like, this just for me, like how for me, maybe not for people who don't agree with, but how cool is that? You know what I'm saying? Like it happened at this moment. And then the other thing that I'll leave the people with, just about why now and the timing. Y'all know I was always no pushing back, but then
always
I got the blessing from my wife. I talked to her after I was like considered it. I talked to her. September 2nd is when she was like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, let's do it. I'm with you. That was September 2nd. Mm-hmm. I always told y'all, if there was a way that I can get this job without having to do all that campaigning and all of that back and forth and debating and all of that stuff, I'd love to just do the job. Mm-hmm. When I decided to do the job, 13 days later, the job was open. And now I can apply for the job as a job applicant, you know what I mean? And be appointed and not do all of the back and forth and campaign. I mean, we'll have to do that at some point. But that's why I said, whatever's God's will is, like, I'm completely trusting him because of the way that these things lined up. September 2nd, as I decided to do it, I got the blessing from my wife. 13 days later, the appointment became available. And then the date and the deadline for the application is, the man who I follow, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's his birthday. So it's like, if we talk about stars aligning and you into that kind of stuff, like the stars are aligned, now we just got to see what, if our will and God's will is the will of the St. Pete people in the city council. So I'll leave y'all with that.
Final thoughts.
I was going to say, let's streamline the process with the letters and do like a Google job form, but I want to encourage people to do just what he said. A handwritten letter.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do nothing deep, just say, I support Brother John. Put a personal experience if you got one, but a handwritten letter, 1-2 sentences on it, and let the people know in the city council who the community wants to be our leader.
Hey man, there's more work that needs to be done, that needs to be said, man. Famous words from my brother, man.
I agree.
Let's support him. All right. He's big to change he want to be. He's been it. So I mean, great example. Really I'm ending it with asking y'all to support your brother John. Not just our brother John, but your brother John. Yeah, that's it.
This is really big for me, man. You know, it's hard for me to accept all this stuff because I really believe all praise belongs to God, and we're not equipped to handle it. And so it's really hard for me to sit with that. But I thank y'all so much for the support. We're looking forward to the next step in the process. And we'll come back Friday. We can talk more about it. I hope y'all call in, send in your questions. We'll have all of the information available for you. But we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Qiana.
Hey, this your brother Reno Moore.
This King Jab.
The voice of the people. And we out. Y'all take care. Peace.
St. Petersburg. Total praise.